Hello, I was asked to show how to set up zram on Debian and derivatives. This is on Debian. I'm not sure if it is exactly the same on the derivatives. Probably it is. You can try it and tell me in case it's not the same or in case any problem occurred. There are three things that help you manage your zram on your Debian and derivatives machine. First, a package. Second, the service associated with it. And the third is the configuration file, as we're gonna see. For the package, if you wanna get it on your system, you simply run the command apt install zram-tools this way, and it should install for you. Clear out the screen. The second thing is the service, which should be in our case zram swap. We can check it by running systemctl status zram swap, and we can see that it's automatically enabled and started. You can disable it and stop it and start it and enable it the way you like, simply by running the relevant commands to those operations, like stopping it by running systemctl stop zram swap. That can come in handy in case you want to change the settings. You need to stop the service and start it again. Let's start it again, and we can check the status to see if it is already started. As long as it is the way you see it here, it means it's started. We should clear out this thing. Alright, now we are able to jump into the configuration file and discuss it together. In my case, or in the case of this piece of software, the configuration file should be in /etc/default/zram swap. We have some parameters that need to be configured in order to meet what you would like to have in your system. The first is the algo parameter, which probably stands for algorithm, and that is for the compression of your zram. In this case, or in my case, it's set to LZ4. The compression of ZSTD is superior and the speed of LZ4 is superior. You can choose whichever you want. In my case, I'm change it to ZSTD since it was not the initial value. Maybe I should show you first how much is the size of my zram by running the command lsblk. In my case, the size is 783. No, the size is 967. Sorry, that one is another partition. So the size is 967. I showed you this since we want to change some of the parameters in the configuration file and seeing them take an effect on this system. So the algorithm, we said we should change them. In my case, I'm gonna put it ZSTD. In case you don't want to change it, keep it the way it is. Percent is the size of your zram dependent on the size of your RAM. In my case, 967, because the RAM is 2 gigabytes. You can change it the way you like. You can, for example, set it to 30% like mine. Here is the static amount of RAM that should be used for the zram device. Let's set it to 384. And the priority, let's keep it the way it is in case you have multiple RAM methods on your system. This should prioritize whichever of them. And now we can save if you are running nano by pressing Ctrl X, Y and enter. Before restarting the service, it's still the same as before. We are able to restart the service in order to see the changes taking effect on our system, like this. And now let's see again, and we can see that see it becoming 580. In case you don't want to have more than a way of swap on your system, since our Debian machine comes by default with swap partition, as you see here, it's the traditional way for Linux systems, you should go to /etc/fstab, and then you look for the line that has the swap in it, which should be here. The file system is swap. The other ones should be something like xt4, btrfs, etc. There are so many ones depending on your configuration. This line, either you comment it by adding the hash sign in front of the whole line, or simply remove it. In my case, I'm not going to do it. And then you save and exit. And then you definitely need to use a piece of software in case you want to totally get rid of the partition of the swap of your system. You use a piece of software like gparted, which can be easier and reduces the possibility of breaking your system, since playing around with your partitions can damage your system and break it. So try to use something like gparted, remove the partition, and then add it as a space to another partition. Make sure it's not a partition where you have some of your important data, otherwise it will destroy it. I'm not gonna do it for this video. I don't think you need much explanation about it. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, we are done showing how to set up zram on Debian and derivatives. Please make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment. I'm signing out, and peace.